What's up, fellas? This is my trade breakdown for the two trades that I took. One was on my funded, the other one was on a paper trade account just because I was one and done for the day. Don't need to put on any risk, especially since we have a no news Monday. So the thought process behind me taking this first short setup was I was anticipating to be stuck in a range this Monday because of the Forex Factory calendar. You can see that we have no news and then the rest of the week is jam packed. Go back to TradingView. Um, this is what I was looking at on the 15-minute time frame. So I was actually bullish this morning because I was anticipating price to draw into this daily fair value gap up here, but it's saving that for the rest of the week, which we'll definitely get up and tap that for sure. You can see this is the original consolidation before this move down, right? That was the before we got our smart money reversal down here. This was the original consolidation, so this is our overall target. But if you look at the 15-minute, we have our new week opening gap, and I was anticipating that to get filled and this swing low specifically to get targeted because of a few reasons. We had SMT at the highs. If you look at NQ, this is the original consolidation, and here's the 9 a.m. high from Wednesday, and you can see NQ failed to take that while ES did take that, and it also took the other high. That was the higher high. So you can see ES is much stronger, but that is why I was anticipating NQ to completely fill its gap. And also, if you look at the 1 minute, you can see how many down close candles we have on this way down here before our target still needed to be hit. So we don't have one green candle right on the 1 minute time frame all the way down, and that just shows you that we're completely in a sell program. There's not 1 ounce of buying on the way down here, and we also had divergence on the way down. So you can see here, here's 940, and here's 940 on ES. We're acting as like we swept this 1 minute swing low, and we kind of just bounced, and then we ended up continuing. But ES you can see was obviously stronger, so that's why I wanted to short NQ. But whenever we have one of these massive moves like this down, I always try to find a entry inside of my silver bullet zone, and you can see the 2 standard deviation was lining up perfectly with the 15-minute swing low. And when I'm already bearish and I'm already anticipating that 15-minute swing low to get hit, this is just an extra confluence. And now I just look for my entry. And I normally just try and get in as soon as possible whenever I have a reaccumulation zone. That's all that the 1 to 1.5 area is. That is where I got in. So I got in actually on the 2 minute time frame just because it was cleaner. You can see right here, I got in at this fair value gap. My stop loss was right here. There was no need for price to get up into here. I did not want to see this fair value gap get completely filled. Also, the only reason that this first fair value gap or the 2 minute fair value gap did not hold um, by itself entirely is because if you look at ES, here is 949, and ES just wanted to get back up into a premium of this range because if you short at midnight, you're normally in a premium or a discount depending on market sentiment. But regardless, key price point, midnight opening price, and you can see here is 949, 948, 949 makes the high. And as soon as we hit that 950 time window, we get our displacement move down and my take profit hit. And that's I literally sold the bottom, the swing low. I sold exactly at 30.5, and I was done for the day. I caught 25 handles on that. But this is where I took my long setup on my paper trading account. I didn't want to put on any more risk, especially since it's a no news Monday. But honestly, if you were taking this trade, should have definitely shorted or longed ES. But I was already looking at NQ, and I like the setup as well. So there was SMT at the lows here. You could see that ES failed to make a lower low while NQ did. So that's also another reason why you want to be shorting ES. We had relative strength here, and on the higher time frame, ES was much much stronger. You can see we barely tapped into the new week opening gap on ES. But the setup on NQ was that we inverted this fair value gap. Even though we are inside of this 1 minute fair value gap, That's just where we anticipate a pullback, right? You don't have to chase price. You can at least expect a pullback into here, if not a pullback into this fair value gap as well. And honestly, when you're trading NFP week or just a no news Monday, normally you'll get a discount entry, like a pullback into one of these fair value gaps instead of just it tapping into the inversion quickly. Normally that's how it works, but this was a paper trade and I wasn't as picky on my entry. But I got filled at the top of this breaker on the 1 minute. My stop loss was at this candle's low just because I wanted to see this breaker act as support, this inversion, and this 1 minute. So that is 3 PD arrays, and if 3 PD arrays would have failed, I was most likely going to be offsides. And my stop loss is completely safe because this fair value gap should stay open. Why should this fair value gap stay open? Because of SMT. That's the only reason fair value gaps stay open. It also, this inversion was used right here as support before going higher. So now we have our midnight opening price acting as withdrawn liquidity. And if you look at ES, you can see that it's much, much stronger. So where are you targeting? You could be targeting this high or this swing high, and that's most likely what I would have been targeting if I was trading ES. Shortly, if you play this, you can see we get that discount entry tag, but it doesn't go very deep into the fair value gap, which is exactly what you want to see. If you look at the 2 minute, it's a bigger 2 minute fair value gap as well. And price shortly hits our take profit right there. So why was I targeting right here instead of higher or this 1 minute fair value gap up here? So regardless of my trading, I have try to minimize being greedy as much as possible. And for me to risk an extra 3 points here for a probability of it not hitting my take profit is something that I don't want to be a part of. And if you look at the 5 minute, this is the 5 minute low of this 5 minute fair value gap. So there's no reason for me to try to squeeze out a few extra points when I know that price doesn't have to go up to this level. It doesn't have to go up to this 1 minute fair value gap. We're already in a deep discount or a deep premium of this range as well. So if I put out OTE, you can see there's no reason for me to try to keep trying to milk the market for a few extra points. I would much rather just take low-hanging fruit, a safe take profit, and be on my way for the day. And especially when you're trading the weaker asset, right? You don't want to be trying to squeeze out extra points when you really don't have to. And the 5 minute, we could have just wicked into here and then sold off, right? And you can see shortly after, it doesn't go much higher than where we sold, right? We eventually just kind of chopped around and then sold off. So definitely don't get greedy, especially on a no news Monday when there's not engineered liquidity. That's something you don't want to be holding runners for when there's no original consolidation high, and especially when there's SMT on a no news Monday. You don't want to be holding for too long. This is the days that you want to scalp. These are the days that you want to have tighter stop losses for the most part. Because if you're offsides, you're going to get stopped out, right? So just have, like I said, this is a perfect example over here, this trade, that my stop loss was completely safe. My stop loss was right here because I had 3 PD rays in the way of where my stop loss was going to be. That's how you want to be framing your short setups or your long setups. However you trade, that's how you want to be framing your trade ideas so that you're able to have a logical reasoning behind why you got stopped out, right? And you want to have the highest chance of not getting stopped out so you protect your capital, obviously, and you make money. That's the most important thing. But something that I've been working on is not getting greedy and taking profit at logical levels that make sense. And since I only trade with one mini contract on my funded account, I don't care that it runs without me. The whole goal is to be able to size up over the long term, and then that's when you scale. That's when you aim for, those extra 5 to 10 points, those extra 20 points on a contract. The whole point when you're starting out, and if you're still just trying to be, if you're on that break even trader standpoint like I am, you need to just hit consistent base hits over and over and over, and eventually you'll be where you want to be. But that's all for this video. Those are the 2 trades I took and the complete reasoning behind them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.